Today we have a student of IIM Indore who gave the exam and secured rank 2 after giving the interview. So without any further ado, from the batch of 1924, welcome Rishu Raj, and the video is yours. The do's and don'ts of an IPM interview.
Hello everyone, I'm Rishu Raj. I'm a student of IPM 2019 batch at IIM Indore. And today I'm going to talk about some do's and don'ts of the IPMAT interview. Now that the IPMAT exam is over, the interviews are fast approaching, and it is very important to know what things you should specifically keep in mind and what things you should avoid doing in the interview. So, talking of the do's, these are the things that you should always keep in mind for all interviews that you'll ever give, and not just the IPMAT interview. So, the first tip is that you should plan your interview in advance. Now, what does that mean? So, basically, you should have a broad structure that you're going to follow in your interview, and just remember that interview is nothing more than a general talk. So, the panelists are there to talk to you, to basically notice how you think and how you feel about certain things and how much you actually know about anything in general. So it might be your subject, it might be your uh, general current affairs, it might be your general knowledge, it might be some particular topic that you are very interested in. So even if there is some topic that you are interested in, you can basically steer your interview towards that direction. And how is that possible? How can you structure your interview? So basically, the questions that follow are mostly based on the answers that you give. So try including those things in your answers which you are very confident about. So when you include those things in your answer, the panel also asks you more questions about that particular topic. And since you are already comfortable with that, you can answer their questions better. Now, second thing is that you should prepare for your interview. Now, this means not only mugging up stuff, but also to have certain specific topics in your mind. So, subjects and topics that you're comfortable with, you should always have an idea and always have personalized opinion about what's happening around you. So, now the interviewers will always ask you that what do you think about this situation that's happening. So in that case, it's your opinion that matters. You should have a reasoning behind that opinion. You should not be firing shots in the air. The third thing is that you should avoid noise. Now, if your interview is happening in an online mode, it is very important to avoid physical noise as well. Sit in a private space and have a decent enough background. So those things are very important. Also, on the other hand, it is also important to avoid mental noise. Now, what is mental noise? Mental noise is some random thoughts that keep popping up in your head while you are in an interview. Now, these random thoughts, it also tends to cloud your answers. Basically, it distorts the focus that you're having on a particular question. So, focus on one question at a time and think only about the answer. Do not think whether what does the interviewer think about me, or whether I'll be selected or not. Do not have those thoughts in your mind. Last point in do's is that you should read well and be informed. So this also translates into a more confident approach in your interview, because the more information that you have, the more you'll be confident about your interview. So and this in a way relates to steering your interview in certain direction as well, because let's say that you are confident about quantum physics. Let's say that you are a science student who's confident about quantum physics. So you can uh, put in quantum physics, put in an analogy or put in an example from quantum physics in one of your answers. And once you're asked a question about quantum physics, that confidence will automatically come in your answers. Now, coming on to the don'ts. Now, the first don't is that those subtle cues matter. Okay. So, if you're fiddling with your hands or adjusting your hair or moving your specs a lot in the interview or shaking your legs, these kind of things have a very very negative impact on the interview, because these show that you are a you're not confident enough, b you also tend to divert your mind a lot. So these also indicate that you cannot focus. Now hand signals are perfectly fine, and hand signals are welcome. They reflect an open personality. But even if you don't do that, it's fine. The second point is that you should not force your answer on the interviewer. If the interviewer does not seem satisfied with your answer, or if the interviewer has a contradictory point of view, you should accept that all right, people can have contradictory views, and apart from accepting that, you should also accept your shortcomings. So now let's say that you do not know the answer to a question. Do not globe. You should never say something just for the sake of saying it or beat around the bush. Just accept it positively that I am not very sure about the answer. Or if you have an idea about the answer, you can say that I'm not very sure about the answer, I'll get back to you. Or I'm not very sure about the answer, I'll try finding it. This follow-up line is very important because that shows that you have a positive approach towards your shortcomings. And the last don't, never be in a hurry to answer to the question. Listen to the question properly. Whenever your interviewer asks you a question, listen to him, listen to what the interviewer actually wants to know, because more often than not, the interviewer certainly indicates what is the answer that he's looking for. Knowing that what is the answer that the interviewer is looking for, you can also structure your answer in that way and take your time. There is no hurry. Even if your interview goes for 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes, it's not a problem for you, it's not a problem for the interview. So listen to the question properly, take your time, think for 5 seconds, structure your answer that what are the things that you're going to cover along with the reasons. The reasons are very important, especially if you're asked opinion based questions. The reasons that you give, that why is it that you believe in a certain thing, or why is it that you have this opinion, that is also very important. So that was all from my side. Hope this helps, and all the best for your interviews. See you soon on campus.